ABC13 News to Go, brought to you by Danville Toyota.
It's a disease that is so distressing and so often misunderstood, thousands are willing to travel great distances for help.
Even right here at home, people are driving hours, even flying to get diagnosed and then treated. Usually that's after they spent years searching for answers. They're finding them in what are being called Lyme literate medical doctors, or LLMDs. In part 2 of the Lyme controversy, how my sister kept me from traveling too far down that long road to discovery.
All right, let's share tricks. You want to do tricks?
That's my sister Lori. My story begins with hers.
It was about 1967, and it was in the summer of 67 or early fall, and I was 9 years old.
We lived on Long Island, the region of the country where we now know Lyme disease first surfaced. A mysterious bullseye rash appeared on her back.
About the time it faded away, I started getting really bad joint pains in my knees. And they would travel, you know, they'd be here for a day or two, and then it'd go to the other knee. The neck was stiff, the groin.
You couldn't touch her. She was in extreme pain. I'd have to pick her up to take her to the bathroom, and she would just scream with pain. That's how painful it was.
But at the time, no one had even heard of Lyme disease, so doctors didn't know what to do.
Crutches one time, the cast another time. I remember being in a wheelchair for a week at one point. And then the pain started to fade away, and I seemed to be fine.
Flash forward 35 years. The pain returned, plus numbness, migraines, tingling. A neurologist diagnosed Lori with multiple sclerosis, but the medicine made her worse.
It was horrible, and I called the doctor, and he says, well, it can't be from the medicine, because it can't be from it was Copaxone was what I was on, because it doesn't cause that. It's just your MS getting worse.
But Lori did her own research and learned the symptoms for Lyme can be similar.
I sent this information to my doctor, and he says, you've got to stop looking at the internet stuff. You've got to stop that.
Lori didn't stop. She flew to New York to see a Lyme literate medical doctor. Turns out she was right, and because her Lyme was neurological, the doctor prescribed 12 weeks of IV antibiotics. Thank you. Today, Lori's healthy again.
You don't want people to worry about you, but I wish you had told me sooner.
You didn't tell us anything about it.
That's because at first, I didn't know there was anything worth telling. Time for weather now with Tab and... About 5 years ago, I started getting pain in my right hip muscles. It was intermittent, mainly annoying. I often felt run down and noticed a frequent low-grade fever, but I brushed it all off.
Then there was a 1 o'clock press conference on the...
Within a few years, my right shoulder joined in. The pain became more frequent, steady. I thought it was my mattress, so I bought a new bed. My pocketbook must be too heavy. It must be the way I sit at my desk. I'm just getting older. In the last year and a half, the low-grade fever has been daily, and the pain steadily increasing, more constant.
Actually, I'm having extreme high pain today.
It's like when you hit your thumb with a hammer. Imagine that lingering pain spread out in your body and never, ever going away. Massage was only providing immediate relief. I finally went to a doctor. I took numerous blood tests, including Lyme. That was negative. He didn't know what was wrong. Neither did the rheumatologist.
Oh, dear.
When I finally did tell my sister, it set off an alarm.
Constant pain? I mean, hello? Tired all the time? Hello? You know, check it out. Maybe they'll rule it out, but check it out.
She was absolutely insistent that I see an LLMD. I found only 4 in Virginia. In June, I made the 4-hour drive to the one I found in Chesapeake.
How have you been? Well, I wish I were better.
Dr. Sabra Belovin spent more than 2 hours with me on my first visit. She's an outright detective. She looked at my past tests, a thorough list of symptoms, my history.
Here, up here, just the whole muscle, all the way down.
I hadn't realized my constant sleep disruption, night sweats, and fatigue were all clues as well, and lower vitamin levels.
You were diagnosed with scurvy, which is low vitamin C, and I see that in a lot of patients with spirochetal illnesses.
Despite negative test results, Dr. Belovin diagnosed me with Lyme disease, and she hadn't even seen this, something I didn't even remember until I just found it in my records. I'd had a tick bite about the time my symptoms started.
This right here used to be my vitamin pill case. This is my case now.
Now I'm on a number of prescriptions, antibiotics for Lyme, several others for possible co-infections, and lots of vitamins. My sister has some residual hearing loss, but she's okay. I still hurt and I tire very easily, but I think I am seeing some improvements. I'm hearing numerous heartbreaking stories, though, of suffering. And my sister and I just hope that our stories will encourage you to do your own research. But be prepared, because the medical community is at war over this disease. We're going to have more on that tomorrow night at 6. And do be sure to visit the special section that we've set up on our website, WSET.com.
A lot of information there on the website. Thank God for your sister.
I thank her so much.
Yeah.
The stories I've heard about how many years people have waited, and luckily mine hasn't progressed to the horrible point that the others have.
Sounds like the medical community is still learning more about this disease.
Thanks for watching.